Yep.
And then you can start.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rosalia, and I am an art therapist that works for the Art Therapy Studio. I've been with the agency 14 years, so I think I'm probably the second most senior staff next to Kim. Today, I'm doing 9 pieces. That adds up to 24 by 24 inches. So going with our 24 by 24 theme. And I'm honored to be the last artist to participate. And I'm going to show you in a second what I'm working on right now. I'm going to touch it now because I won't be able to touch it when the edges are all wet. So everything else has been turned around. And this is my tree. Ooh, it's sticking. I'm working with Jazz Gloss Medium, which is a temper-based paint, and I'm experimenting on the canvas, but I had done an experiment on a canvas and it seemed to work, it seemed to take. And it's a lot of fun, but a little messy. Going back to my work at the Art Therapy Studio, I work at the VA hospital. I'm a contracted art therapist, and I work on the spinal cord injury unit. Hey guys, if any of those guys are watching, because I told them about this event, they all have Facebook. I work also on the psych unit and also on the long-term memory care unit at the VA. And I worked here in this studio as an art therapist with the Discover the Artist classes for, I don't know, at least 5 or 6, 7 years before I went on to the VA. So I have been working as an art therapist for about over 20 years, really. So you could say I'm a seasoned at this stuff. So if this is your first time Zooming in with us, welcome. If this is your last event that you're watching, thank you for participating, and thank you for all those people who have donated. We've had some really good contributions. We've raised some money, so I'm very excited about that. And I hope to keep the momentum going with this piece. And it will be a really fun piece when it's done, and you'll get to see it. Hopefully I'll get through it. This is my 7th canvas. I'll have 2 blank ones, and the unique opportunity presents itself right now because I have 2 blank canvases. So I want you guys to put, and gals, and everybody, anyone, he, she, they, to put on your art face. And if you have any suggestions, I am entertaining ideas for at least one of these. And this piece, I'm going to call it tic-tac-toe, because we have the X and the O, and I want to have either another X or O somewhere in here. As far as this piece and what it represents, I originally intended to do one big canvas that was 24 inches, and I'm a kind of indecisive person, so I like really painting landscape. I like portrait painting, but I wanted something different and exciting and interesting. So a few weeks ago, I was just goofing off, and I made these little wood pieces here. And it was, started with this idea about putting on your art face and helping me motivate to be inspired to get myself going with art and start creating. So this just kind of spontaneously came about. And then when this opportunity presented itself, I said, well, what should I do? Should I do the 24? And it was, believe it or not, it was easier for me to just do 9 different pieces than to settle on one. And so here we have it. I started this within the last 24 hours, right after I watched the first segment of the first person, the artist that presented at 4 p.m. After that, I kind of decided I have my little pieces here, and then I transferred them onto, I blew them up, and then I transferred them onto, with the carbon paper onto the canvas, and then I just started painting. And things that, these are some of these things inspire me. So I love faces, I love portraiture. These are more like caricatures, but I do like representational and realistic pictures as well. That's kind of more what I do. I draw and I paint, but these are more like caricatures because I wanted it to be fun. And I really like this medium. It kind of flows. Recently, I've been doing just started exploring pour painting. And this is similar to pour painting, which is quite the rage on like YouTube channels. But this is just a medium jazz gloss, and it's a temper base, but it seems to hold quite well. So today when I came into the studio, I had just started this tree painting, and it's progressing quickly. And so now I think I'm going to get into the bark. I should keep focused here because I will start rambling and forget that I'm painting, and I need to do this in the next hour. So this is my little template here. This is what I'm working from. And I try to be true to my little original sketch, my little original painting, which is just something I got from my imagination. It's more like purple. I'm working really with the primary colors today. So actually I did pour brown in here, but I just think I'm going to go back into using my primaries. So I'm going to take my blue. It's okay if there's a little brown in there, and my red. Because of the dry heat in here, you know, the temperature cooled down. Oops, that's a little too much. Paint is really drying super fast. And I don't like that because it's not as fluid. So we have to add a little more red. I have too much pour medium in here. So.
Well, Rosalia, while you're working, I want to let you know that you have your first suggestion for the canvas. Woodstock suggests an owl.
An owl?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'll consider that. I'll consider an owl.
All right. Viewers, keep the suggestions coming. We'll keep sending them to Rosalia.
I did have one. I created a birds on a telephone pole. But what happened with that piece is that I made it, I left it at home because I felt like the colors just didn't go well with this particular piece. So, but the bird theme, yeah, that's something that I could see myself doing, the bird theme. And so I also Googled some images, like there's a tree on my one in my photo gallery that I really I like, a fall tree, and so the owl might go well. All right, so we got a nice purple. Everybody thinks that trees are always brown, but they're kind of like grayish. They're a grayish color usually, with some brown in them. But there's so many different varieties, of course. But this one's a little too purple. I want it to pop out. So I'm gonna start putting this down. an old tree. One thing I realized when I was making my tree, sketching it, reproducing the sketch onto the canvas, as I was looking at, originally my thoughts about the red down here were that it's the fall colors. But then I thought about all the fires that have devastated California and the West Coast. And actually, I have a client that I work with at the VA, and he finds himself in Cleveland because he was in a forest fire a couple years ago, woke up to smoke, smelling smoke, and went outside. A big pine tree was on fire. And you know, this was something that came up in our session. And it was interesting because I didn't even know that about him, but he had some PTSD from that. And when he was trying to, fortunately, he did get out okay. Whoops, I'm dripping. That's okay. I wasn't paying attention there. Little happy accidents, right? But yeah, he fell when he was evacuating. He and his he lived in an apartment. He and his neighbor got in a car, and he said he lost about everything, but he was lucky enough to get out with his life. So, but yeah, the forest fires are a terrible thing. So I don't know. It's been a rough year. Don't have to say that. There's been a lot of stress going on for a lot of people with the virus. And all right, so I really like how my tree is looking. Now I'm thinking about how I could put that all in there. These little dots are a little annoying, but we'll figure that out. They do like the purple. And again, you know what? I want people to see that sometimes you just have to, you might not have the right materials at home, but you can see that I'm painting with a popsicle stick. Most of this I have done with a brush, but for this particular piece, the popsicle works quite well. I'd love to see a little owl in here. But yeah, there's pour painting is all the rage, it seems, and it's something that's pretty easy to do. They're usually abstract pieces, but I'm trying to, this is not a traditional pour painting, but I'm trying to work with something representational. So I'm making my fall tree. Now I'm gonna stand up, look at it, and figure out what I'm gonna do to punch up the contrast a little bit. I think I'm gonna go on yellow. And excuse me, I'm gonna look here. Where did I find studio? I saw something that I could use. Paper plate. Need more. No paper plates?
Yeah.
For my mixing palette, this is my mixing palette from earlier when I painted all this. But again, I think it dried up. I worked on this at home and I came over here to the studio. And I'm very fortunate here to not have to maneuver the camera. Yeah, this tree painting.
Rosalia, you have a couple more suggestions.
Okay.
So you have a sun and an apple.
Okay, a sun, an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Great, I like that. Oh, I don't know if my mom is listening, but happy birthday to her. Today is her birthday. And she loves apples, so I just thought of that. She loves apples. So I'm putting on the highlight. It's a little bold with the yellow, but it does add some really interesting contrast. So I like it. Ooh. Okay. Wow. So much fun. This picture was a fish that I went to the doctor's office a few months ago. Actually, I went into the lab and then I saw this fish by itself in the fish bowl. It actually was a tank, pretty large tank, but the poor guy was by himself. I felt so bad for him that he was by himself. I wanted to kidnap the poor thing because my heart went out to him. So I took a picture of him. But that was my fish. I don't know what kind of fish that is, but. So a lot of these images are, a couple of things are from my imagination, obviously the abstract, and that was my little template. This one was gonna be this, but I ended up liking the abstract pour so much that I didn't wanna blend it. And I said, you know what, let's just leave it like that. I like that. When I was working with a veteran, we were doing collage, and then I came across these images, this image here, and I love flowers. And I have a lot of pictures of flowers on my camera that I've taken, and I like to be true to the art and say it was my image, but I knew I was working with primary colors, so that's why I decided not to use my own picture, my own flower, but one that I found because of the red. Because I want these all to go together. I want all of these pictures to kind of go together. And let's see, maybe I'll put in some orange. I'm gonna drop a little bit of orange in here. And that's gonna liven it up a little. I might even blend a little orange in here just to kind of, the bark is so dark. Let's see what happens. My sky is pretty dark too. But I like the spontaneous approach, especially when working abstract, so just see what comes up. They're good fall colors. You could put leaves on there if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to. I think there's I want to mix the yellow a little bit with the blue, but the blue has dried already. So I'm not kind of getting that green. I was down in North Carolina in the summer on vacation, and I saw the Spanish moss, and boy, I like that. And the kind of the green on there reminds me of the Spanish moss. But I don't know if that would go. Okay, that's getting a little busy. Okay. So obviously this tree is an old tree, lost its leaves already. And a little bit with the brush. I don't know what to do about these spots. They kind of look a little strange. So maybe turn them into leaves or something. I don't know. I'll just blend them. There we go. Blending them. All right, that's looking pretty exciting. Maybe a little more definition in here for the spark. This tree is alive. It is. Hopefully it's not on fire. That's coming along pretty good. I thought of maybe putting a sun or moon or something in here because I do kind of think about it as like a nighttime kind of tree. All right. Thing to watch out for when working is not to overwork things. Oh, but I see a spot right here.
Kelly says it's beautiful, Rosalia.
Oh, thank you. So there. I can put a few areas here. The idea that maybe there are a few leaves somewhere here and there. Again, this is a more stylistic, impressionistic. Actually, what I was thinking with this tree, this is my Van Gogh tree. Van Gogh is one of my favorite artists. And we know he used very vibrant colors. He had his own way of painting. I often think, what would these artists, you know, these master painters, what would they do if they had all the access to all these mediums and equipment that we have today? I don't know. They probably would. Yeah, let me turn this around. So I don't know. Oh, I see one area I might go back in here with some black. The only problem with this medium is that it does stick. So I don't know, do people get the feeling of fire, or I'd be curious to see to hear what people think. Definitely gives me a feeling of fire, but then that was not the original intent with my little sample. The original was just making a tree, but fall.
We're here in sunset, Rosalia.
Sunset, yeah, definitely sunset. Keep it positive, right? Again, what I really love about this medium is that it will dry glossy. So it has like an enamel-like finish, but enamel is like more toxic. This stuff is non-toxic. It's a very safe medium, but it does have a little bit of a smell. You can't really get this in your average craft store. You can get it in like an art store. All right. I think what I'll do here is I'm going to finish up with the edge. Let's see. My hands are getting dirty. So I'm going to walk over to the sink and rinse them off. So I can finish it with,
Rosalia?
yeah.
Woodstock says fall leaves, and I'm not sure if that is in reference to the vibe the tree is giving off or if that's another suggestion, but
Okay.
either way works, I think.
Okay. Probably fall leaves. Yeah, there's some fall leaves in there. I'd like to put a little black, dark little definition in there. This is where the pouring will come in right now. Pour it over the edge just to quick paint that background. Oops. Once again, it's drying so fast. This way, if the person who decides to purchase this art does not have to go and bother about getting frames because the edges of the canvas are painted. Let's see. These could represent some leaves. Kind of dried up leaves. There aren't that many leaves, and the ones that are on this tree are really dried up, so I'll put in a few. Let's see, and my paint from earlier. All right. So I don't want it to get too busy. Let me turn it back around so I can see what I'm doing here. Looking pretty good, except I think I want to do a little dark. Whoopsie. A little definition in here. Black might be a little strong, but really nice. I like how that's looking. Give it a little more texture, bark. I think I have to finish this piece up pretty fast because I got to move on to some of my other. There. Anything else would be way too much. You're going to end up overworking it. So there's it's almost on the side of being a little busy for me, but I'm going to end it right there because I don't want to overwork it. There are a little bit of fall leaves suggested on there. It's a nice old tree, a lot going on. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. I do not want to drop this. This over here. Let that dry. And I'm going to take another. Oh, we got some images. Oh, great. Somebody has done me a favor here. This is all wet, so I don't want to contaminate my. All right. I don't know. It's a toss-up. An apple or an owl? Let's see. We already have one animal represented. We have a flower. The owl. I don't know. If anybody has, does anybody want to vote on which one I should do?
We're waiting on answers. Let's see what we say.
What's the question? Can you restate the question?
Woodstock says an owl on an apple.
Oh boy. Well, I can tell you one thing. The format of the apple lends itself, you know. But I do like the owl as well.
I don't think the voting's going well. Now we're getting other suggestions. You've got a chicken and a squirrel.
Oh boy. The squirrel. Now remember, I do need to have, one of these has to be reserved for an X or an O. So this is the X, this is an X and an O. So that one's like a wild card. It can be both. So I now need to make an O. So maybe I should compromise. Should I do an owl eye? That's a possibility. I could do the eye of an owl. I'm going to start with that because that will be my circle. So this is going to be the owl's eye. I'm going to take some black. I don't like to work with black. Again, I like to have a custom color mix. But, maybe I can make it. Wait a minute. I want to make room for the, let's see if I can make kind of a dark color. Again, I'm trying to work with the primaries so everything has a nice color harmony. All right. That's kind of neat. And let's see, blue for the out. Whoa, should I throw in the brown? It's a dark color around the eye. It's going to be the eyeball. A little awry there. A little too much. Oh no, that's a happy accident. Well,
Rosalia, it's kind of looking like an avocado now.
I know. It looks like there's a seed. Wow. So we're gonna do, you know what? I know what we're gonna do. We are gonna turn this into an apple, a green apple with a leaf. And it's a cross section and you can see the seed. Abstract. Or it could be whatever you want, right? Whatever you want to make of it. Interesting.
Paul says squash.
Yeah, it does look kind of like a squash. Oh boy. I'm unhappy with the dark color because it throws off a little bit from the rest of the piece, but it is interesting. All right. It has a feeling about it. So I'll turn it around. I might just let that one sit. Again, it is kind of squash-like. Because of this medium, it would just be a disaster for me to kind of wipe that up and start again. It would just go all over the place. So I'm just going to leave that one alone, I think. And then we're going to move on. So the owl, let's see. Oh, the tree is looking nice. And some of these I might come back to and touch up. So let's see, we'll move this one out of the way. Let's see, I'm going to rinse my hands off again. All right, so I guess that could almost count for an O, an X. Let me look at this one. The poppy flower, so I was going for the top one. I'm thinking I need to add something possibly to the background. I don't know how much time I have left. How much time do we have?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay, so I have to hustle here. Let me think about finishing up my, actually.
So Rosalia, just want to let you know, we're all getting a little slap happy. We have a face-off happening on Facebook, appropriately. So Paul says squash. Woodstock says acorn squash. Paul says squashicado. And Kieran says London.
And what was the last comment?
Kieran says London.
London?
London.
I don't know. This one reminds me of the Grateful Dead, this last piece. So if we have any deadheads out there. Again, all of these pieces, I don't know how the auction is going, but they're all going to be auctioned off. And whoever does this one, you get to keep all of them. So I'm trying to look at now. Actually, I do like the avocado. You know, she was a little dark, so that kind of works. So now I'm trying to, oh boy. The only drawback of this, I need to have plastic so it doesn't stick to the paper. Let's see, how would I arrange this? Of course, the beauty of this project is that, you know, if you take this home, you can put this anywhere. It doesn't have to be together. Let's see. Should I do something more abstract or should I do the apple? I think I might do the apple. Because I feel like I have the X, O, O. Oh, no, wait a minute. I think I do need an X. Because I have one, I don't know. Another abstract. Okay, I need to hear about abstract or an apple. How many?
Okay, we're waiting. Paul, while we're waiting on the votes, Paul would like to know if your cooking show is next.
My cooking show. Yes.
Woodstock says Starship, Enterprise, and Jupiter.
Wow. Starship Enterprise. Jupiter. Jupiter is not bad. Although I feel like I have a lot of Jupiter colors already. I have a lot of like yellow and orange. So I don't want to use another yellow orange theme because I feel like I'm too much. I think maybe I need something dark. A little dark. Negative space. Let's see. Different color apple, possibly. Let's see. Huh. I guess I have to make up my mind here pretty soon. The blank canvas. What other ideas did I have? I do see the owl over here. Let me see. Oh, this is a cute picture of an owl. I do like this picture. I like that picture of an owl. But in 20 minutes, let's see if I can knock that out. X or O? I think I'm going to go with an apple. But I might get a green apple, so let me look at the image here. Green apple's not popular with people. I think most people like red apples. Yeah, I'm not feeling the green. So this is the artist's process, right? Knowing when to stop, figuring what to do, staring at the blank canvas. So I think I like what I have so far. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3 abstract pieces, and then I have 1, 2, 3. I have 5 representational pieces. So, you know, I think I'm going to go abstract. So one of the things that I like to do as an art therapist with a group is I like to ask people to express how they're feeling in line, shape, and color. So I'm going to try to channel everybody's energy. And I'm hoping that there's a lot more people besides the people that are just commenting, watching this. And I hope that you guys are all sending me your energy so I can pick up on that and I can finish this show off with a bang. So with that, I'm going to start. Get my paint nice and fluid here, which is kind of hard. Huh. So you're going to do Scribble technique is a very common technique used in the process of art therapy. So this is kind of like scribbling. Let me put some red in there.
Office, but Robbie says purple to whatever you ask.
Purple. Okay.
And I want to let you know your 3 minutes.
All right.
And if I wanted to let you know the edge of the tree is finished.
Uh-huh. The edge of the tree. Wow, I like how this is turning out. I see a snail, I see a butterfly. I see all kinds of things in here. I see a rooster's crown. I see possibly turkey. Wow, I see lots of things in that. But while I'm while I'm letting that kind of sit, let's go look at this tree. I'm looking at my tree upside down. And you know, artists, especially people that paint, make sure I'm not gonna.
Oh, it's the side that's opposite you.
This side?
Yeah, it doesn't, the edge of it.
Oh, the edge of the canvas. Oh, right, okay. Oh, I see. Yes. Very good.
And while you're finishing,
Because I was like, wow, these are some really, really strong critiques here. You need to add more leaves. You need to add this. You need to add that.
you're a very engaged audience.
Oh, wait, that's red. So I think my red is pretty dried up. So now I'm going to go on to, let's do that. There we go.
While you're finishing, do you want to kind of tell everybody if they want to see more of your art or follow what you're doing, if they can do that?
Unfortunately, not right now. That's a work in progress. So my name is Rosalia Rozsahegyi, and just keep looking out for that name, Rosalia. One day in the next, let's see, maybe before the end of the year, I'll have a website up, and then I would love to. That's a constant work in progress for me, getting a website, but it doesn't just quite come together.
When it's up, we'll share it on the Art Therapy Studio Facebook for everyone.
Wow, I really like the green behind my tree here. So I'm gonna try to introduce a little more green. It kind of just punches it up. Kind of feel like there's a field back here, some healthy growth. My son ran cross country, and the good thing about that was that I got to go to some of his practices, which were held in Ossakia and Beechwood, and boy, it was the fall colors and the fall plants. They're really big on native plants, and And so there were some beautiful native plants growing, and I really, really, really appreciated them. And so I think that's one thing that while I'm working here, I'm inspired by nature. That's a big part of what inspires me. And so it's kind of like memory, you know, like even though this is not a realistic tree, well, it is a realistic tree, but it's not a tree that I painted it from imagination. But I'd like to think that it is because I'm so in tune with when I go on these walks, I really try to pay attention and I really appreciate what I see, and the beauty just sticks with me, I think. So I'm really happy with my tree. Sometimes the paint separates a little bit. So, but then other times, you know what, I like the little bit of white in there. It just adds something extra to it too. You gotta be careful not to overwork this tree. Ground it a little. The black there. All right. This piece here. See, maybe I'll end with a little bit of a lighter blue. Kind of like a abstract mandala. And then I heard purple. So let me add some purple in here. I tended to mix purple. Let's see. By blue and red that I've used, but now I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm just going to take that suggestion of purple and throw that in there. And this is fun. Actually, I'm pretty proud of myself that I pulled off 9 canvases in 24 hours because you know, a lot of us give ourselves excuses why we can't do things. But then we have to just kind of make time to do stuff. I kind of like how that looks. Maybe a little bit of more stuff over here to balance it out. A little bit. A little crazy. Not too much because it's getting to be. I don't know. I would say the energy is coronavirus, go away. We're sick and tired of coronavirus. It's kind of a little anxious, this piece to me. Kind of represents even this part being stretched, but kind of like there's a little bit of a butterfly in there at the same time. I don't know, this is where your imagination goes wild. So I think I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'd like to come back to my little fish here. Look at the image. I think we're almost close to wrapping up time. See if I can find my fish real quickly. See if there's anything else I need to do to that one. See, here's a picture of a tree on my phone. It's kind of a fall tree that I took. inspired me. But you know what? I'm not seeing the fish one. I think it was back in maybe April. Anyway, I hope that everybody has really enjoyed our 24-hour marathon fundraising event. And every little contribution helps, even if you don't bid on an art piece. And thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging in there if you're still watching. This was a very interesting angle. That's why it looks kind of the way it does. It's a very unusual angle that was taken. I've gone a little heavy on that color there. My memory serves me correctly, the fish had a little bit of So if you're joining us for the first time, we do have a permanent collection where we have artists that are well known, and you can bid on the. I think you can borrow the artwork. It's part of an art loan, and you can have it for up to a couple of years. At least that's how it used to be in the past. So people went crazy about anything that was created in this marathon. You can look at that art. I think we're probably close to out of time. How are we doing?
It's 5.
It's
5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday afternoon. Thank you to all the supporters of Art Therapy Studio, all the staff, all the hardworking artists that contributed and volunteered their time and their artwork to make this fundraiser event successful. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our director. Yay!
Did it turn out the way that you wanted to?
I think it turned out pretty
Awesome.
good. Yeah.
So we're rating your session because we're saying goodbye to everybody. Oh, thank you for joining us. Come on over, Jennifer.
I'm coming around this way.
Oh.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. We really had a lot of fun. We're totally sleep deprived, but it was all for a good cause. And the auction will be open until midnight tonight. We're so excited you could join us. Anybody else have any last words?
Thank you so much for your support. It's been fun. And keep bidding till midnight.
Yay! Oh, and thank you to all the artists that participated. I know the hour went by quickly, but we're very much in love with the work that you've done. And so pleased you could join us.
And thank you so much for our wonderful sponsors and supporters and donors. Ta-da!
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.